And the messages keep coming in, and apparently it seems that many of our viewers are fixated on this very subject of sponsorship, or how you get to also financially assist a partner, and thinking that that partner has to reciprocate that very gesture by going into a certain marriage covenant with you. Well, it doesn't always happen like that. That's my opinion, though. And many of you have been having varied opinions about it.
Alhaji from Tamale says, ladies are now taking men for granted. You add some other things that I can't share. But thank you very much for the message. Tosan says, I think we don't invest in a lady because you want to marry. This is from Silas from Tamale. I agree with you, and I think that that's the point I've been trying to make. Don't invest in a lady because you want to marry. Besides, if you want to do investment, I mean, you can't. What are the terms? Helping a lady with a mind that she might marry me in future. I would never do such a fruitless investment, irrespective of whichever promises she may give. Black covenant or no black covenant, women are not to be trusted. Bambakia Samed Fumbisi sent this. Women are to be trusted. I think it's a wrong notion. If you've been disappointed once, twice, even 3 times, that doesn't mean women cannot be trusted. You haven't found the right woman, that's all. The lady who was starved thought she was smart. How can you allow yourself to be invested in and you don't want to yield any interest ahead? So, okay, we can't say for a fact that this is what happened to her because we don't truly know her story. I think it's wrong to think that way, but thank you for sending the message. This message from Oheneba Kwachi Jr. in Obuasi says, our grandfathers always advocated that it's better to rear a goat than to invest in a lady. A little advice to the guys out there: spending the relationship isn't bad, but investing to marry is really bad. I think it's good advice from Oheneba. Mama V seems to have done the same thing to a man before. Okay, I don't know, maybe the men can't say, but no, I haven't. Okay, let me read some more messages, and this I'm picking from WhatsApp. With the conversation is also ongoing on Facebook, so in a bit we're going to pull up what you are saying on Facebook as well and share. Saliu Ibrahim from Jasikan says, it's not that the guy is investing in her education with the hope of marrying her someday. It may be that they're lovers. That's why he has taken up that responsibility. So if the lady is trying to think otherwise because he's fed up with him, then someone will do more than that, looking at what he has done for her. Are we trying to justify the killing? A relationship must not be war leading to killing. If that is perception, then it is not love-based one. Also, if that should be the usual plan, very soon ladies in GH will die out from bills in Asinfo. So what are you trying to say? Are ladies in Ghana taking advantage of the guys? I don't think so. Do you know what you're talking about? It is not you, so you can choose to say anything. Okay, I'm just giving, it's just my take on the issue. But if you don't agree with me and you want to be going, you want to go killing because somebody has broken your heart, then I tell you what, you're forgetting about those who gave birth to you. You're forgetting about your siblings. You're forgetting about your life as a human being, and you want to go and spend the rest of your time in prison. Well, it'll only be you in there, so it's your business, I guess. Prosper from Pando says, just that ladies are too wicked. Even if I am not supporting you financially, you can just call off the relationship just like that. What do ladies take guys for? They deserve more than just a simply death. Prosper, I'm sure you've gone through a couple of bad relationships, but the good people will come. The right person for you is on the way. Okay, so more inspirational messages as well, but I want us to finish this battle once and for all. Investing in them even scares them away from you. Abdullah says so. I am pious. I think the cause of all these is being so addicted to these telenovelas. I think it is time they realize the best way to love their men than trying to adopt some people's way of love. Okay, you want to help me with the messages?
I think that, so let's just introduce the conversation you had with one Dr. Ajabeng,
Yeah.
and it's just basically about premature babies and how there seem to be no fears in the present medical world about how to cater for them and how to comprehensively make sure that you live with them.
Yeah. One of the things you find in this conversation, and I think it's sticking with me, is a kangaroo way of taking care of premature babies.
Just to give them a lot more warmth.
Exactly. What the incubator would give you when you're out of the hospital, that's they teach you ways of taking care of the baby so the baby can feel the same way. But it's sad that some mothers can have babies who are really, really underweight, you know, very light, and they come out very early, all the risk factors. When we come back, we know that the conversation is continuing on Facebook. Do you expect a woman to marry you simply because you have spent a lot of money on her? Can you invest in a woman? Will you encourage your sister to invest in a man because of love? That conversation or that debate, we're still battling out here. So hang on with all the comments. We'll still come back and continue. But right now, though, is my banner, and I sat down with Dr. Nanama Ejabeng. You've got to listen to this conversation carefully. So now we can have our conversation on prematurity, because November 17, 2015, just yesterday, was a day that we put on the side to celebrate or to observe the day. But if you've gone through the process of giving birth and your baby has come out prematurely, you would worry a lot, because often that's what people, you know, who have premature babies do. They worry. Should we be worried? Is it bad to have a premature baby? I've got the Greater Accra Regional Focal Person, Newborn Care, joining me on this conversation. Dr. Nanama Ejabeng is my guest. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
What does it mean to have a premature baby?
Okay. A premature baby is a baby who is born before 37 completed weeks of gestation. As in 37 completed weeks of pregnancy, any baby born before that time is considered premature.
Is it a bad thing?
I wouldn't call it a bad thing, but it can be a stressful situation, both for the health worker, the parents, and also the society as a whole. So it's not particularly bad, but it presents a lot of challenges to these groups of people.
And what I have experienced, you know, from somebody close, is that it can be expensive as well.
It is. It's expensive because care for them is expensive. They would need intensive care, NICU care, and they will need special attention. So all in all, it can be very expensive. Yes, it is expensive.
How often do we record, you know, some of these cases in the Greater Accra region where I know, you know, you supervise? How often do the hospitals record cases like these?
Let me first start with this, what the situation is in Ghana as a whole. In Ghana, 1 in 7 babies are born premature. And in Greater Accra, from our 2014 perinatal death audit, we realized that up to 53.5% of all the neonatal deaths were due to prematurity. So we're talking about over half of the death being due to prematurity. And that tells you how grave the situation is.
Is this something that the mother does while she's pregnant? Maybe some people don't follow the rules, that's why they will end up having babies like that?
Let me start off by saying that a lot of factors predispose a baby to being born premature. The mother can play a role, but I'd want to quickly add that it's not to blame the mother, because situations happen that the mother has no control over. So I would want to discuss some of the risk factors that would make a baby be born premature.
Sure.
One of the popular ones is adolescent pregnancies or teenage pregnancies. Most of the babies born to such mothers are premature. So other factors are hypertension in pregnancy. When your BPs go so high, there's a condition we call preeclampsia. And when that happens, or when that occurs in the future of the pregnancy, we'd want to deliver the mother of the baby so the mother is safe. So you end up with a premature delivery. Situations like infections in the pregnancy, urinary tract infections, can lead to what we call premature rupture of membranes, and that also leads to premature delivery. Other situations like alcohol intake in pregnancy, being exposed to cigarette smoking, can lead to premature deliveries. And one of the popular ones is short interpregnancy interval. When you don't wait for too long and then you become pregnant again, the next pregnancy is most likely to end in.
So what is too short a time?
Too short a time is anything less than 1 year. The recommended thing is for you to have a baby when there's 2 years, when they are 2 years apart. As in, you get pregnant when the previous child is 2 years old, and nothing less than that, because you give your body the chance to return to what it was before the previous pregnancy.
Sure. What are the chances of a survival of a baby born prematurely?
The chance of survival for a preterm baby is rather slim in our part of the world. In Ghana, it's said that a preterm infant or a preterm neonate stands at 25% risk of dying as compared to his term counterpart. As in, when you are born premature, you stand a 25% risk of dying.
Okay.
Yes. In other countries where technology is far advanced, you can have preterms who are about 28 weeks, 27 weeks, surviving nicely. But in Ghana, most of the time, when you're about a 30 or 32 weeker, your chance of surviving becomes very, very slim. Yes, but indeed, some go on to survive and thrive nicely.
Okay, so let's go back to the Greater Accra statistics as you gave back in 2014.
Yes.
How many children have survived? I think you gave for the deaths.
Yes.
Otherwise, how many do we even record?
Premature deliveries.
Yes.
So as I said, in Greater Accra, for instance, we had about 7,200 deliveries who were
7,200
who were preterm. Yes, across the region.
Wow.
Yeah.
And out of that number,
well,
you gave us some deaths.
Yes, I gave you deaths, but I didn't give you survivals because what we recorded was of the deaths, was the perinatal death audit. So
do we know how well they grow, they develop from that?
Yes, we do. We have an intensive care unit for the children at Kolebu. We have some also at Rage Hospital and other hospitals, and we have the newborns or the preterms being discharged to go home. Some of them being discharged to go home. They come back on reviews and they are doing very well. Yes. So there are good numbers to show that preterms do survive in Ghana.
I saw a very little baby. I mean, the parents were turned away because we're going for immunization. I think for this will be for polio vaccine or something, one of these, the early ones that you take. And I think this one was an injection. They said the baby was not grown enough to take the injection. It was kind of sad.
Yeah.
But do you grow up as a normal child?
Okay.
Are you prone to some diseases because you were born small?
Yeah, indeed. Immediately when a baby is born small, a baby is born premature, some of the immediate complications that this baby is faced with is that of hypoglycemia, and by this I mean low blood sugars, and this can even predispose them to death. Then there's the issue of hypothermia. They are unable to control their body temperatures, so they are prone to becoming very cold, and that can predispose them to death. And then the issue of infections, chest infections, brain infections, and that can reduce their chances of survival. And also of neonatal jaundice. They easily develop jaundice in the first few days of their life. Going on from there, if they are able to survive the first few days of life, as they go on, they are predisposed to a number of complications. Brain development sometimes gets slow, physical development, their social interactions becomes sometimes a challenge. And then there's the issue of developing asthma and other respiratory conditions because they are preterm. Even later on in their adult life, these babies or these children who grow up to be adults stand an increased risk of being hypertensives, being diabetics, and as already mentioned, being asthmatics. So there's a whole continuum of symptoms or of conditions that a preterm infant, as she goes into an adult, can develop. But let me quickly add that some too grow up, and indeed a good number of them grow up to fit very well in society. And studies have even showed that preterms have more resilience, or they have the fighting ability to survive and
because they've gone through a lot already.
Exactly.
Even as children.
Yes.
You have experienced mothers give birth to babies like this. Usually, what's the feeling? I mean, how does a mother receive a baby who's born too early?
Okay. To answer this question, I just want us to go back to one of the questions you asked me, whether it's a mother's fault that a baby is born premature. The first reaction is, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? Yeah. And what could I have done better? So the whole scenario starts off with that of guilt, the mother feeling that she did something to have a premature baby. Society doesn't make it better. They see them and they are like, are these humans? They are too small, they are too frail. Society is giving stigma to the mother too. The mother is having to deal with her own guilt. Society is compounding her issue. So sometimes the stress of it all gets to them, getting them to even handle their babies because they are afraid and they are so stressed out. So it can be a very stressful situation. It can be a very stressful condition for the mothers.
Let's talk about the environment now. Where can you keep such a child? What is the best environment for a child like that to grow up in?
Okay. So a child who is born premature immediately needs a neonatal intensive care unit. And recently I've been told that none of our facilities measures up to an intensive care unit. But we have a newborn care center at Kolebu, at Ridge, and we have incubators which keep these babies to give them the normal temperatures. And the issue is also with feeding. So we support their feeding. Sometimes we have to pass an NG tube. An NG tube is a nasogastric tube that goes through their nose into their stomach to help them feed. Sometimes we keep them on IV lines. But as they grow, we try to wean them off the incubator.
For how long can you keep them there? Till the 40 weeks or something?
No.
Okay.
No, we don't keep them there for that long. We keep them there to stabilize them, to stabilize their temperature, their respiration, their pulse, to make sure that they are not in any kind of danger. And even as they are there, we teach them, the mothers, how to care for them. We encourage them to express their breast milk for them. And we sometimes even feed them with the breast milk through the tubes. But that's the recommended thing. So when we realize
because the babies can't suck directly.
Exactly. When they are too small, the energy to suck sometimes is even down. So they we try to support their feeding. And after some time, this baby becomes stable, and then we encourage the mothers to keep them. There's a practice that we are upscaling in the region and also all over Ghana. That's of the kangaroo mother care. That is when we keep our preterms between the breast of their mothers, close skin to skin.
Okay.
To them, and the kind of body warmth and the kind of environment that is created as the mother bonds with the child simulates that which happens in the incubator. So we teach these mothers to care for their children in the kangaroo mother care way, and as they get used to their kids in this fashion, you build the confidence of the mother that you'll be able to take care of this one, and then she or he would survive to adulthood. So we don't keep them in incubators for forever.
Okay. Well, what's the smallest baby you've seen?
I've seen a 0.8 kg, so that's like an 800-gram baby. Yes.
0.8?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and we have some 1.9s, 1.1s, 1.1 kg. I mean,
really small.
Yes, they are small, and they are severely preterm. Sometimes they come out 28 weeks, 29, 30 weeks.
Do they survive? The ones you've seen, did they survive?
The younger the gestational age, the less likely they are to survive. So you would have, and it also depends on their birth weight. So if you come out and your birth weight is about 1.5 and you were about 34 weeks old, you have a better chances of surviving than than a baby who comes out about 1 kg 30 weeks. Because as your body weight and then your gestational age all tells on how well you'll be able to survive.
So, you've given us some hospitals.
Yes.
Are there specific clinics or hospitals that you think people can go to?
In terms of whether there are other hospitals?
Yes.
Yeah. The general practice is every facility should have what it takes to immediately care for a newborn who is born premature, to be able to help the babies breathe, to be able to stabilize their blood sugars before they are transferred to referral centers, which have the incubators and all that it takes to take care of them on a long-term basis, short to long-term basis. So for every facility, if you deliver there and your baby is premature, we stabilize the baby and then we refer to where the baby would have the opportunity to use an incubator.
Okay.
Yes, but when we have a premature baby who is relatively stable and can survive outside of the incubator, we allow the mothers to do the KMC, the kangaroo mother care, for some time with us on the facility. When we are confident that the mother is able to take care of the baby, then we let her go home with.
Have you seen twins, premature twins before?
Yes,
because I'm wondering what a mother would do. Kangaroo can be with only one.
Oh dear, kangaroo can be with two.
Oh really?
I have pictures of a father who has a set of twins in kangaroo mother care. So it's not only the mother who can do it for the baby, but indeed the parents too can do it, and it can be two, just stuck in between.
But it would be beautiful if the mother is doing one and the father is doing.
Indeed.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yes.
All right. Is it good to take a child like that to school early? You know, these days we take them to school really early because work will not allow you.
Indeed. The social fabric has changed so much that babies sometimes even go to school as early as 5 months because mothers have to go back to work. I see you covering your eyes. Anyway.
Because I'm guilty.
Well, the thing about premature babies is that once they go past a certain age, the risk or the dangers they face tapers off or lessens. So it's not for the parents to be afraid or to always be on edge that something wrong is going to happen to their children, but it's for the school authorities to also be aware that so my child was born premature and sometimes has so and so challenges, so we work together with the school authorities. I wouldn't sit here and say that don't take your premature child early to school. It's not law, but it's how to work it out with the school authorities. They are there to support you. So when you have any concerns, you address them squarely with the school authorities, so they'll be able to take care of her feeding and then care for the child in general. And as they grow through nursery, KG, realize that premature child will not be able to probably catch up as fast as his colleague term babies. So it's for the school authorities to also be patient with them and then take them through the lessons at their pace so that they don't feel left behind. It's the whole idea is to reduce stigma.
Okay.
So that they don't feel insecure or inadequate.
Is that why we even have a day to observe the day?
Exactly.
Okay.
So on the 17th of November every year, this is the fifth time we are marking the day. We try to focus on them, and then we try to give them the attention, and we create the impression in society that they can survive, and not only can they survive, they can also thrive and make a useful impact in society. So for this year, the newborn care theme is born too small, born too soon, help me live. So it's of the neonates making an appeal to society, to parents, to healthcare providers, and to everybody that they might have been born too small, but hey, they also deserve a chance to live.
Once you say born too small, born too soon,
yes.
but help me to live,
Live.
I feel that we all can contribute to that child living and living well. So what can we do?
Yes. So the first thing is, I mentioned that the mother is stressed out. The mother is having to deal with her bout of guilt. So as society, we should support such mothers with preterms, so that they would have confidence in the fact that they will be able to watch them, and that it's not a curse, so to speak, to have a preterm child. Added to that, we should be able to take care of the risk factors that lead to this preterm deliveries, so that we don't even have them in the first place. The issue of adolescent pregnancies, as society, what can we do to prevent teenage girls from getting pregnant? I always tell my colleagues, you can't tell a teenager or a young adult not to be sexually active. Sometimes it's like pouring water in an empty basket. But you can tell, or you can inform them to protect themselves. So the issue of the use of contraception should be lauded very much in this country, so that if even that young girl should be sexually active, he should do it with protection. And of course, it's not only to prevent pregnancy, but also to prevent all the STIs. And then pre-pregnancy, you should make sure that your blood pressures are well controlled. You are not exposing yourself to the use of alcohol or cigarette that would predispose you to preterm delivery. So you are taking good care of yourself before you even get pregnant. So the issue of continuum of care, taking care of the pre-pregnant young lady, and then when she is pregnant, informing them about going in for antenatal care early and consistently. The recommended thing is that once you find that you have missed your period, see your doctor, and then follow through your antenatal care to the end of the pregnancy. You find people coming in when they're about 20-25 weeks pregnant, and stuff have already gone wrong. So trying to get back to correct things become difficult. And then the issue of good nutrition.
Eat well.
Eating well.
Eat healthy.
Eat healthy, yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
All these.
Is there a special place or a special responsibility for the man?
Indeed, there is. I keep on saying that the two of you are in it together, and it's easy for the woman to blame herself because she was the carrier of the package, so to speak. So she was the one who is supposed to be taking good care of the child. But it's been said that partner violence in itself even predisposes to preterm deliveries. So the issue of the man supporting the woman during pregnancy is very important. Making your wife feel comfortable, helping her with house chores, keeping her stress levels very low, helps to keep her blood pressures low, would even prevent her from going into a preterm delivery. Supporting her nutrition, encouraging her to take her pregnancy vitamins, keeps her in good health. And even if you should end up with a preterm delivery, you should know that as a man, you play the supportive role, and your wife glides on your strength. So it's not to step back and to point accusing fingers, but it's to hold your wife's hand through that trying period.
Okay. All right. So is there any activities that you are undertaking during this period?
Okay, so during this period, the idea is to upskill kangaroo mother care, because sometimes we think that because we don't have incubators, we'll not be able to take care of our kids, and then we tend to become dependent on technology. But this year, the idea is to upskill the practice, making mothers know that they are able to take care of their babies, and then promoting the practice amongst mothers, so that even when they go home after they are discharged from the facility, they'll be able to do that at home. And then we also want to bring our healthcare providers attention to the fact that we can reduce the incidence of prematurity if we communicate better with our clientele.
All right. I want to say thank you. I don't know why kangaroo makes you smile.
Indeed, it does.
But I'm grateful for your time.
Thank you for having
so
me.
much. Thanks for all the insights. That's Dr. Nana Ama Ejabeng, Greater Accra Regional Focal Person, Newborn Care. So we hope that the message has gone down well. Let's all, I like the born too soon, born too quick,
born too soon, born too small.
Okay, yeah. I think small is fair. So born too small, born too soon, but please help me to live. Let's all do that. Thanks for watching. This has been my banner. All right, so born too small, born too soon, help me to live. That's the cry of a preterm baby, and hopefully the conversation has gone down. And let's all give the support. I got a message from Seth from Molly National Park. He says, my mom told me I was born in the 7th month of a pregnancy and I grew as a normal kid. I'm a grown man now. Good for you, Seth. Thank you so much for your message. You're also contributing on the relationship bit. That battle is still very much ongoing. The messages are lots. But thanks to Dr. Naname Jabing, she works with the Ghana Health Service, and she gave us all those details. The guy didn't love her, because if he did love her, he would have let her live to love him someday. Seth Molly National Park also says that on that earlier conversation about love and whether you would invest in a woman or a man, you know, somebody says it will never happen in my life again to trust a woman. And I say that's a wrong thinking you have right there. I think investing in a woman whom you see to be unique, 1 in a million is everywhere, is worthy enough to earn your support before marriage. A friend of mine is a victim and is happily married with this same lady. True love doesn't ask why. Good morning. Good morning. This one says, Mama V, please, you can keep the campaign going by educating women each morning by at least taking the predisposing factors one after the other, but do have incubators in only hospitals in Accra. You're asking, do we have incubators in only hospitals in Accra? I don't think so. If so, a woman with a preterm baby at Zabzugu would have to travel all the way to Accra. I don't think so. I think the regional hospitals at least would have, and I'm sure some of the clinics would even have, but you would have to inquire about that. I am not on top of that issue. Ladies should stop playing with the emotions of the men. How can you call for the arrest of the hand that fed you? Don't you know he was a taxi driver before you were taking money from him? And I don't think it's fair. Efo Kofi from Aplau saying that serves her right. I don't think anybody deserves to die, or anybody should kill someone because of anything that they've done. I totally disagree with you. Senyo from Kwando says, when you disappoint girls, they can even hang themselves, but the girls who accepted a young man to be his or hers forever, and after taking everything, she thinks the guy is a fool. If she's not careful, God will throw her out even in heaven. This will serve as a lesson to Mama V. You think I should learn a lesson from this? Well, thanks for your message. Nuhu Salifu in Boko says, I would rather invest in a cow or goat business than to invest in a woman with the intention of getting married to her in future. Nuhu Salifu from Boko sent in that message. Let's quickly go to Facebook and check out what people are saying on Facebook. When I have those messages on Facebook, okay, yes, I do. Let's start with Drafo Emmanuel says, far from that. If you have spent a lot on her and she's not a marriage material, how should you marry her? Poor me, is blackout here, so I'm missing you people this morning because I'm not working at ECG. I don't have the guts to say they are incompetent because I've been in darkness for 2 days. God save GH. Drafo Emmanuel, who is missing the show but is very much active on Facebook. I appreciate it. And Adrian says, love is a natural thing and money cannot be spent for love. Otherwise, love will not succeed. Nantonma Muhammad says, I only spend on a girl if only I love her. But to expect that I should be the one she would marry will be a big mistake because anything can happen at any time in the relationship. Okay, don't be too sure. Jamek says, actually, if you're sponsoring the person and to capitalize on that to marriage, not dream. And comes back to say, Kai, never, not even mistake. Okay, so Consma Ivy says, I would never encourage that. Wouldn't want to be a liability to another so he can tell me what to do, what to go and how to live. Never. Would prefer to struggle or depend solely on my parents. That's their responsibility. Bless Anas Justin says, as a financial elite, investment with a high risk and all things equal yields returns in direct proportion to the risk. Investment in love is highly risky, but unfortunately, it doesn't really yield in direct proportion with the risk. It is therefore extremely irrational to invest in love. Ajiku Emmanuel, that's why I would end for now, says no. Keep those messages coming through. I love it when you send us messages, and I've got lots. The second problem, okay, so good morning. Please help us in Adabraka. We've had no peace since the June 3 flood. The least rainfall and everything is scared. That's what you say, because everywhere gets flooded. We are so worried. We keep moving up and down to stay with relatives. Is from Na. Na says the second problem is the main Adabraka road. It's become so dangerous crossing because of the new flyover. Drivers descend at top speed. We don't want any more deaths in the area. I think we've had our fair share of deaths, disasters for the next 100 years. Na sent in that message. Very worried now. Ayipe Osman from Offensel. My baby boy died immediately after birth due to insufficient oxygen. Meanwhile, the pregnancy was overdue. What might be the cause of such death? And we would have the doctor come back in studio sometime, and then would, pass on all your concerns to her. Ghanaian girls need a lot of education on dating, but the guy shouldn't have gone that far, for God's sake. Emmanuel Aqua from Angloga sending out that message. Roland, please, can you find out from Bost what is happening to the Bolga depot after the colorful recommissioning? Still no activities after 2 months. We should be serious. Okay, we'll look into that definitely. And this is quite long, so I'm going to hold on to it. Keep the messages coming through, though. Roland Walker with his guest on AM Talk right here on the AM show. Your messages are always welcome on WhatsApp 0560-800,000 and on Facebook. Our page is facebook.com/Joy News on TV. Please do stay with us.